Hello children, welcome back. Today we will do the revision of Science Chapter 10, Respiration in Organisms, and we will cover up the revision of this chapter in two videos. So let's start. So in this chapter it is all about respiration. So my first question is, what is respiration? Respiration, the oxygen we inhale is used to break down the glucose from the food which is digested, the food we have taken, and the oxygen combines with the glucose present in the digested food to give carbon dioxide and water, and it releases energy. That means in order to get energy, the respiration take place. Now, why is respiration essential? Now you are able to answer. Respiration is essential for the survival of the living organisms because it releases energy from the food. So the oxygen which we inhale is used to break down the glucose into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released in the process. Now we know that we need energy to walk, to run, to climb the stairs, wash clothes, and cook food. Even when we are talking, eating, reading, writing, or sleeping, energy is required. Hence, it is very important to take the proper food. That means it is related to our respiration. Even the processes like digestion of food, beating of heart, and the movement of ribs and diaphragm during breathing, etc., which is taking place inside our body, also need energy for their working. So that means, in fact, we need energy to perform all the activities which maintain our life and also to do work. So we get energy from the food we eat. Next, the respiration. Where does this respiration take place? So respiration occurs in all the living cells, and in our body you know that there are millions of cells, and each cell perform different functions. Okay, so all organisms are made up of small microscopic units called cells, and a cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. There are different type of cells. Few of them I am showing it to you, like stem cells, bone cells, blood cells, muscle cells, fat cells, skin cells, nerve cells, endothelial cells, and many more are there. And all these cells perform different functions, but all these cells need energy. So each cell of an organism performs certain functions such as nutrition, transportation, excretion, and reproduction, and many more. To perform these functions, the cells needs energy. And from where we get energy? That is from oxygen and the food we eat. Now, where do this respiration take place? So, it takes place in the cells. So, what is this cellular respiration? Let's see. The respiration which takes place in the cells of an organism is known as cellular respiration, and the release of energy during cellular respiration take place. So what is the equation of the cellular respiration? And then next question is, what is the equation of cellular respiration? So we can write it down very clearly that glucose plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide plus water and energy. Energy is released. So a big amount of energy is released when glucose combines with oxygen. Got it? The oxygen reacts with the food like glucose present in the body cells and burns them slowly to release energy. This energy is used by the living things, and this is the equation, and it is known as the cellular respiration. Now there are two types of respiration. What is that? That is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. What is aerobic respiration? Aerobic respiration is the respiration in which oxygen is used for their respiration, but in anaerobic, oxygen is not used. So this is the equation for aerobic respiration. When breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, then it is known as aerobic respiration. That means oxygen plus glucose gives carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP. ATP is the energy. Okay, so this is the aerobic respiration, and as I told you, what is anaerobic respiration? When the body cannot supply the cells with the oxygen needed to break down glucose, then it has to carry out anaerobic respiration. So energy is released without oxygen. So this is the equation of the anaerobic respiration. Glucose without the use of oxygen gives alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. So this is the anaerobic respiration. Now the question arises, what happens when anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells? I told you that each and every cell performs different function and it needs energy. But what happens when anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells? So you know the answer. During heavy exercise, fast running, cycling, walking for many hours, or heavy weightlifting, the demand of energy is high, but the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is limited. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. So the answer is, to fulfill the demand of energy, muscle cells respire anaerobically. So now name an organism which can live without oxygen. Can you tell the answer? Name an organism which can live without oxygen. So without oxygen, your answer will be yeast. An organism, that is yeast. And what type of respiration usually take place in yeast? Then you can say that anaerobic type of respiration take place in yeast. Let's see how and what it produces. So if the oxygen is not available, it will have to continue respire anaerobically, isn't it? So, but in doing so, it receives very less energy. That means when in aerobic respiration, the energy is released more, but in anaerobic respiration, the energy is released less. And what is the equation when anaerobic respiration take place in yeast? So, and this process is also known as fermentation. When glucose respire, when glucose is supposed to break down, a little energy is produced and carbon dioxide is evolved and alcohol is produced. For example, we have discussed earlier that for making beer and different type of alcohols, anaerobic respiration take place. That means fermentation is done to obtain the beer. Next is, we can jot down few of the similarities between aerobic and the anaerobic respiration. So what is the similarities? Then we will discuss about the difference between them. So what are the similarities? The first one is, in aerobic respiration, energy is produced by the breakdown of food like glucose, and same is like that in anaerobic respiration also. In anaerobic respiration also, energy is produced by the breakdown of food like glucose. So, and the second one is, The aerobic respiration takes place in the cells of the organism, and anaerobic respiration also take place in the cells of the organism. So this is the similarities between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. But there are certain differences between aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration. Let's see that. So what are the differences? Let's see. This is aerobic respiration take place in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. This is the first main difference. Second is complete breakdown of the food take place. But here in anaerobic respiration, partial breakdown of the food takes place. Then end products in this aerobic respiration is carbon dioxide and water. But in anaerobic respiration, as we saw in the previous equations, we saw that the end products in anaerobic respiration may be alcohol and carbon dioxide in yeast and lactic acid in muscles. So these are the end products obtained in the anaerobic respiration. Now the last point is aerobic respiration produces a considerable amount of energy. That means more energy is obtained. But in anaerobic respiration, much less energy is produced, and these are the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now, can you tell me now that why do muscles starts respiring anaerobically? Now you are able to answer it. That is, and why muscle cramps is caused during heavy exercises. So during vigorous physical exercises such as running fast, leg muscles respire anaerobically without oxygen. Why it is so? To produce extra energy, and oxygen supply is less. So we can say and that muscle cramps are caused due to the demand of energy is more and supply of oxygen is less. So in order to fulfill that, muscles cells start respiring anaerobically. So name the substance which is accumulated in the muscles during vigorous physical exercise. So can you tell me why muscle cramps, during muscle cramps, what is the substance which is gathered in the muscles or accumulated in the muscles? Yes, it is the lactic acid. So during heavy exercise we get cramps in the legs due to the accumulation of the lactic acid, and let's see the equation of it. Equation is glucose which is present in the muscles, and due to the absence of oxygen, the glucose gives out the lactic acid and very less amount of energy. So I hope, dear children, you have understood and have revised till here about the cells, about respiration, about aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, similarities, differences, equations. I hope it is clear to you. So, dear children, read the chapter properly, revise it properly, and then do the questions related to it. And in the next video, I will explain you the mechanism of breathing. So, take care. Thank you.